Hello, people. I don't know what happened there. That was a bit short, but yeah, it's Man United time, and obviously games being played right now, and it's gonna be a fun one today because the gloves are off, people. This is not a humble prediction and tactical analysis. This is passion. This might be passion of a ball. This one. This is not going to be a ball of a passion. This is a big one today. So let's have a look at the games today because there's a lot of games going on today. Brighton is losing, unfortunately, and we'll see. We'll see what happens today. How is everyone doing?
Oh, I'm ready. I am just casually waiting for the session to begin because the Irish Gypsy comments are coming back. We're ready. We're ready.
Oh, Jesus.
I got my good sweater for this so that people don't say it's bias.
CK will be joining us in like less than 5 minutes, so he'll be on in a second. But how are we doing, boys? Z, Willow?
All good, bro. All good. I'm excited / nervous for the game. I know you boys aren't nervous at all. I am nervous, but I cannot wait for that final whistle to go and Arsenal to win the game.
I think we're all on that train, mate. What about you, Z? I know you're going tomorrow, so
Yeah,
how you feeling?
yeah. No, I'm looking forward to going to Old Trafford, man. Like, it's gonna be an experience, but I'm hoping that I come back with 3 points, bro. Like, definitely. First of all, I've been as excited for this preview as much as anybody else because I want to see George cook today. Like, this is one of those previews that we get to see George come out of his, crazy shell, and I need to see it. So, guys,
Hey, boys, last
it,
time
man.
that we did this, it was the exact
Spurs.
score line in the exact same manner. So the chest comes from facts, and just people don't like to see it. But, at the end of the day, Thanos, he's comes, and he's inevitable. And when you look at it, I don't know where this chest, just factually, before we get into the stupid tactics of it all, how the hell is any Manchester United fan confident right now when they haven't scored or won against us since 2018?
Because
Come
the
at
fact
me. No, come at me with the logic right now, because
There
despite
is
quality difference, let me just understand. So you believe that in 3 years that your manager tax was enough for you not to score a goal? Come on, get out of here. Honest to God, like I'm tired of this chest that you seem to have. We are to Manchester United what Liverpool are to us. We smack them. They're our bitches. They consistently are just our play toys every single time. And Old Trafford, in terms of the curse, that hasn't been a thing since 2018. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, boys. A lot of stuff to talk about.
I mean, the thing is, they come with chest anyway. They don't really care. It's not like facts matter to them. It's just all, we are Man United 20 times. We've won a couple of Champions Leagues. Cool. You have Paul Pogba, Rafa Varane, Conference League Varane. Let's get it right. Not Champions League Varane. We're going for Harry Maguire, the slabhead who silences everyone by sliding in against Albania. Good on you, mate. We've got Ronaldo, who's calling factos for finishing 6th in the Ballon d'Or when he had no factos at all. Sorry, mate. But yeah, I mean, Ralph Ragnick, cool. If you're coming at us for our manager, sorry, mate. I swear your manager now has only won a couple of German Cups. Oh no, it's not the same. Oh no, he's the Godfather. He has not managed he's managed 3 seasons in 10 years. On the actual touchline. Forget. I understand. Oh, he's a Godfather and this and that. And next year, cool. Do your Godfather things. Be Don. Whoever.
United have more holes than a sponge current.
Yeah,
the fact that you're going to sit there and think that a managerial change is going to be enough to carry you guys over the line, that's just the craziest thing I've ever said. Look, I will definitely put out my bias right there. All the boys in the comments, you got to calm, because this type of George only comes out with Spurs and United. So I'm sorry if you can't handle the heat, but get out of the kitchen, as the cooks say. And, I can't wait to get in the tactics here, because what's funny, with all the chess that we're going to come tactically, this is the funniest matchup I've seen in a while. It's the funniest one I've seen in time.
I'm waiting to hear how Fred is going to be this pressing monster against us. Mate, he's one guy. And you know how you dropped 5 at Liverpool by letting one guy press and the rest of your headless chicken monsters go everywhere,
Yeah.
not understand, not have a structure. You think in what 3 days, and he's not even allowed to. He's just been at the dugout once. Calm. You think
No,
Carrick
bro,
is
they're
there?
gonna space jam talent. No,
Yeah.
Willow, they're gonna space jam talent. So Ragnick's earpiece is gonna funnel into the players, and they're gonna, understand pressing structures in a preseason, and they're gonna have the fitness in order to really, really get at the boys. And it's gonna be a totally different structure off the ball because they're gonna space jam their talent into them. That's how football and life works, right, mate?
Brighton just scored as well, so that adds.
Get in there. Get in.
Exactly.
And by the way, who said on the prediction December 4th Arsenal will be top 4? Who said that shit?
We all did. I mean, I said December 2nd.
No. Since preseason, I have said December 4th. I am on record, and you should clip it, and we should do it. I said December 4th Arsenal will be top 4, and this run will define the top 4 season.
The best thing is
what you got to say now. Everybody in the comments, what do people have to say now? I am ready.
Brighton have made it 1-1 as well against West Ham.
That's why I just said,
Willow, that's why I'm saying it, bro. That's why I'm saying it. So 1-1, yeah. And what's going to happen today is, book another 3-1. I said Spurs 2.0. Guys, it's going to happen. It's going to be even glorious. It's going to be even worse than Spurs. But that's the score line once again. The same chess, same score line. We're going to wrap it up. And by December 4th, the predictions come full circle. And I'm ready. I'm ready for all of the hate.
Because the thing is, every time you used to say December 4th, I used to go, bro, the game's on December 2nd, but I agree. Literally every time. Every time.
So many times.
Literally every time. And look, everyone knows my take on United. I went on the terrace with goddamn Lee Gunner in September and said to him, we're going to finish above United. And literally got called ridiculous because of their individual brilliance. Well, look, the individual brilliance has got them their manager sacked, and now it's Ragnick at the wheel. Cool, come, bring the heat, bring the devils.
I haven't seen a single logical explanation for why title challengers turned into 10th. And you know what's really funny? All of the hate, they're all really, really quiet, by the way. And, they're saying things are going to change. They sound like that ex that, is like, we can really work on this relationship. I think it's really going to work. We're definitely, we should do counseling. We should really see somebody. And you're like,
it had to be more pie. It had to be more pie. For God's sake, I hate that bloke. But go on, more pie.
Oh, and what's really even better is you come back with another prediction, Thanos time. Chelsea struggling in a system that potentially might have to make them back 4. Calm. I wonder where you guys heard that from once again. Cha-ching, another one. So we're just cashing in these W's at this point, mate. Like it's just it's getting to the point where my back is hurt from carrying the level of irony.
As you say, Watford go through on goal. Oh, they bought it.
Oh god. By the way, I'm just gonna say this. How much better is Amazon? Amazon is so much nicer. It's so much nicer than Sky and BT. Like they have a thing with the stats on the thing. You can turn off the commentators if you want. It's lovely. Like seriously, screw Sky and screw BT. Just both of them are just awful. But in terms of United, look, I think all of us here took a lot of shit in the summer. One guy I remember saying to me, Arsenal in the top 7, are you mad? Well, are you mad now? How is that looking?
No, I want to hear the excuses because I kept saying that I was just over optimistic. I was just hearing, George, you're going off, I don't know what you're saying. And then at the end of the day, we start looking at it. Chelsea's struggling, and it's not just this game. It's been struggling for a while. They're going to have to move to a back 4, and then boom, we're going to see beautiful things happen there. And when we look at United, we did say that they would fall off, didn't we? I just want to double check the receipts that everyone keeps saying that we were delusional for. And now the same accounts that were saying, look at these delusional guys thinking we're top 4. They're basically saying if we don't get top 4, it's a disgrace. The hypocrisy is getting to the point of just, it's hilarious. I'm just sitting there with my popcorn going, okay, how many more W's are you going to give me? Because, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous.
It's so funny when you feel Like all these, like
Man's got more hero ball than Chad Kruger with this United team. Honestly, what we're getting right now is just, just all hope. 99%. Hope.
99%, 99% faith, 1% chance. There you go. That's the one. But you know what it is? I'm seeing United fans go, "Oh, we're doing combined 11s." First of all, combined 11s are stupid. Stop doing them. They're really dumb. Second
I don't care, mate.
I like a combined 11 currently.
You can like them, but they're incredibly stupid.
Don't come at me with any combined 11s when you can't score against us since 2018. Don't do it. Just stop.
Personally, I don't think combined 11s are stupid because you can do them because you just do it depends what you do. You got to state what you're doing them on. If you're doing it on form, you're doing it on form, and that's what combined 11 should be on. It should be on form. It shouldn't.
United are like the girl at the bar that surrounds herself with less good-looking girls in order to look better. That is what they do. Okay, and they keep dressing shit together. And they keep deluding themselves into thinking that they're a different type of person. And they're just a different level when in reality, mate, you're a 6. You're a 6. And you just got to settle for it. And understand that things could change. Yeah, they're 6, but they're 8. Exactly.
They're actually 10th right now.
Get in European places, guys.
Anyways, lads, we should probably get into like some actual tactical analysis, but just facts. People are saying that Ole was the reason. I would love to know the reason that you guys are going to choke harder than certain people do that on the internet. I don't understand how I want to know what the excuses are going to be. Oh, Ragnick wasn't actually in the job, even though beforehand the narrative is, oh, he's phoning in, like ET phone home in terms of the new style of play.
8 points, by the way. That's an 8-point gap. So,
yeah. Wow.
So it's December. We're not in preseason anymore.
Oh, so, look, Christina back in for the fold. We're just talking some tactics right now. Well, not even tactics. We're just blasting United right now for a little bit before we get into the serious business. How you doing?
You're muted.
I know. I'm good. How you doing?
Good, bro. We're just talking about the holes of United. They're mad right now, and I think, dude, the chest. I don't know. We're kind of doing a little bit of glory hunting because Chelsea struggling in the back three system, right? Then United 10th. So we're just taking in our predictions, and everyone was hoping to be as confident as we are. But when we get into the tactics, I hope not even hope. I know we're going to turn Mush into a positive person. Because
let me just tell you,
it's
right
funny.
Now, this is their cup final. Literally, if they lose this game, that's it. They're not coming back from 8 points. It's just not happening. If they lose this game, done. I don't want to hear it. I will go on any show with any United fan and
how quiet they are with Ben White versus Rafael Varane. What are you saying right now? What are you saying?
Wait, boys, I want to ask a question. Though. If we beat United tomorrow,
sorry, okay. I just changed the question.
Whatever you want to do with that, do you think Man United come below Tottenham? Yes or no?
No, because
Tottenham
are shit.
My answer is who gives a shit.
Willow, mate. The reason is because what you're talking about right now is Tottenham have to be relevant to conversate about, and United are at a different level of shit. Okay, so Tottenham, they're not even entering the bar. They've been ID'd outside, mate. Right. They've been stopped by the bouncer. So
you know what it is that the best defender in Serie A is out of February, guys. They have an excuse. Okay, the best defender that the world has ever seen in Christian Romero is just he's oh my god, he's so good. And he's
so Christina, West Ham 1-1, yeah, and the prediction of December 4th. Do I get an extra point for that when it happens?
No, you don't.
Put in the comments. Do I get an extra point for preseason saying the exact date that we go top 4?
Wait, George, but the thing is though,
factually, it won't be the date.
West Ham actually play on the 4th as well, though. So if they beat Chelsea on the 4th, they would actually go ahead.
They
of us.
won't though. That's why I said the 4th.
You never know. You never know.
That's why I said the 4th prediction. But I don't know. You guys say in the comments. I think since preseason, putting the exact date deserves a point. But
And you know what it is, right? We're having a bit of a laugh and some fun, but the fact is that United, just any United fan, bring them into the comments. Tell me a lineup that is balanced and is able to actually go and play us, actually go and do something. Is it with Ronaldo? Because when Ronaldo came on against Chelsea, it looked like things kind of went to the wayside. Before that, they had no sort of threat at all. I think they're ridiculously.
Fuck the point.
Go on, Nomad. Let them know.
No, because I've said stuff like you can't just say a random thing and then get.
It wasn't random.
The points were only
factual.
the points are only for our match prediction. So
it wasn't random. I said it completely a reason. I said that the run was the reason that we would get top 4 come the end of the season.
The points only come if you get from a scoreline, nothing else. Not even another team's scoreline, just us.
Anyway, y'all in the comments know. I just want to remind that exact date when it's going to happen. All right.
We won't be top.
I'm getting a moral point.
2nd, not December 4th.
All right. Shall we actually do an actual show? Or we're just gonna vibe for an hour.
I don't mind this.
No. You know what? No, screw it. I want to get into the tactics of it all because you know what? I've had my fun right now, but now it's time to shut them up with logic. So when we come with facts and education, this is what's really going to happen.
So the first thing is, as we mentioned, can we get a result? Of course, we can get a result. It's
no, screw the result. Let's talk about lineups. Let's talk about Carrick versus Ragnick because you know what? Because Ragnick coming in would have made it even easier of a win than Carrick.
I agree.
Carrick gives them more of a chance to win just by factoring of who he is.
Because he sets them in a lower block.
Yeah, bro. The more that Manchester United come out, to be a stripper, the worse it is for them. It's just really sad to be honest with you. But why don't you guys go into the lineups because this is going to be fun.
Right. Shall we start with United?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So De Gea, pretty obvious. And then I don't think Varane is back. So, but there's a certain
Varane, Cavani, Pogba, and is Luke Shaw out? I heard somebody say
Luke Shaw is out. I think. Pretty sure Luke Shaw is out.
Luke Shaw is out.
So yeah. I'm pretty sure it will be a Slabhead, Lindelof. It will be Wan-Bissaka and Tellers with McFred and Matic. With I want to hear from you guys. I think he goes with
Rashford, Ronaldo, Sancho.
Exactly, Sancho, Ronaldo, and Rashford because the thing is after the weekend he's feeling the heat. And I think Ronaldo's pissed because of the Ballon d'Or shit.
They're idiots. Roy Keane helped us out so much, lads. The idea that this absolute... Guys, why is their legend so devoid of any kind of logic? It's kind of frightening now. When they come out with this stuff, it's getting to the point of stop talking, bro.
It feels like they're sabotaging. Because they feel like they've done all the stuff at the club.
Not feeling like it is, Kerr. They are sabotaging their own team. The idiots that they're forcing Ronaldo on. I hope not even hope. I know he's going to do it because after all the shit that they did with Sky Sports and the huge media frenzy, he 100% is gonna play. Plus, the idiots believe that because he scored in the past, that means he scores now. Short-term correlation equals causation.
Ben White has literally said this is the one matchup he's looking forward to. He's going to be chomping at the bit for Ronaldo. So
I swear Ramsdale did too, eh?
Ronaldo's going to kick him out. He's going to kick one of Ben White or Gabriel.
Yeah, 100%.
Ben White.
I hope it's Gabriel.
No, you know what?
He's all the time.
Tomiyasu already had him in his pocket last year.
He did
I'm
indeed.
looking forward to it again. So
but the thing is,
can somebody explain to me how they're gonna, because do you guys think that Bruno doesn't start? That's the other thing. So do you guys think that it's the
I think he
Matic
doesn't.
role?
I think it's the Matic role. I think he's scared.
Because I don't actually think it's going to be that, Kerr. I honestly think it's going to.
I hope it's Bruno and Ronaldo on the same pitch.
Same.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing. I just personally think that he's going to go a bit more defensive. And
No. You know what I think he's going to do? It's going to be Matic.
Different to the Chelsea game just because they're at home this time. And
No, but I think they're going to go Matic and Fred in the pivot with Bruno up top.
Oh no, there's no way.
Because Maguire right now with progression, he can't progress the ball.
Yeah,
so
that's true,
and McTominay can't run, he can't pass vertically, and so the issue is, what the hell do I do? We need Matic in there to help out Maguire. It's going to be the Sayuncu Samare logic where they need a midfielder to drop in to progress the ball because Maguire can't do it right now. They're going to try to spam to Bruno, who's going to hopefully spam outlets to Rashford, but they won't be able to get out because our press will be far too good.
No, but the thing is, in transition, they're too loose as well. Like they have
more holes than a sponge currently.
Yeah, like no, but the thing is, specifically because they're going to be sitting back and they're going to be looking to counter. So to counter, you need efficient players to actually turn on the half and actually get the ball to your outlets, and they don't have that. So the fact is, right now, they can't play Bruno if they want even to think about it, but they will. You're right, they probably will because their club is run on vibes, and that's how it is at this minute. And Mush is right. The punditry is just awful. Like, people don't understand attacking build up. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Like, you do not understand where, like, you can't count, and people don't understand that you don't even they don't know how to count because no one's told them in punditry. Oh, look, there's 5 channels. There's people going. Rotations are occurring all over the pitch, etc., etc. Just the basics. They don't even know that because of the current state of football punditry, and it's ridiculous. It's really stupid. So, and United, I agree with George, are the worst about it. Like, from Rio rubbing his hands and saying we're back, to Roy Keane going, well, that's his job. Well, why is that? Why was he not in the position to succeed there? Why have the players not been put in positions where they can make that block or make that tackle or make that shot? It's because of specific tactical failures off the pitch and on the pitch. So,
but mate, let's get into that because their build-up is completely poor because David De Gea can't progress the ball. So they basically give it to their center backs, and right now their center backs can't get out. Alex Telles has, the most inconsistent touch I've ever seen in my life, and Luke Shaw, who's typically much better in their build-up, is not going to be there. And so right now they don't have anybody on the left-hand side that can step up the ball. Then they've got Lindelof, who is a ball-playing center back, and I think he'll go with Lindelof over, Eric Bailly, but he's about as progressive as, the conservative parties and, or the Tories, I guess, for y'all. And it's essentially just, two people trying to step up the pitch and they just can't do it. They just can't do it. And so their midfield have to drop in. And then you've got basically McSauce, who's attempting a vertical pass is probably funnier than, Mohamed El-Neni attempting a vertical pass. And you're basically left with Fred, who's just sitting there for vibes, essentially passing the ball to Bruno, who spams it forward.
But he's really good at chasing people, George. He's really good at it. And he's very good at chasing people, and he can make a tackle. Doesn't that mean good midfielder? Burr.
Let's get serious for a second. So when we look at United in terms of what the actual threat they can offer, factually, what's really helped them since Carrick coming in is they're a counter-attacking team, and they've been imposter syndrome trying to be something that they aren't. Sorry?
Chelsea scored.
Oh, what did they go to a back four?
Oh, CK, you just ruined it for me, bro.
Yeah. Chris,
I didn't see it. I just said it because my brother screamed, didn't it?
Yeah, Ziyech scored, yeah.
Did they go to a back four?
I don't know.
I believe so because Ziyech came on for Chalobah.
There you go. Anyways, so back to the thing at hand. So listen, what's worked for United is being this low block is more in line with their philosophy, with who they have as players. They have elite outlets that they vacate the middle. Let's have it right. They don't have a midfield presence, and the fact that the midfield is going to be the most important battle in this game, I just find it really, really funny, because without a midfield presence, they hope to basically spam vacate it. They abandon the middle third. They fire it to Bruno, who has a hero ball moment of spamming crosses for Ronaldo's movement or Rashford to go in behind, hopefully trying to nick a goal on the counter. That is what they do. They don't score on set pieces. So the set piece threat is, forget about it. We've scored the most set pieces in the league this season, so I wouldn't be surprised on a towering Gabriel header. But just factually, in terms of their players that they need to get out, in terms of Shaw and Maguire, Shaw's not available, and Maguire is in probably one of the worst forms I've seen in his life. So how are they going to get the ball to Bruno? Like, can anybody give me a logical explanation?
I know how they're gonna get the ball to Bruno. It's what happened on the Ollie when they couldn't.
What happened under Bruno?
What happened on the Ollie when they couldn't do it is the gets fed up and goes and gets it himself, and he just goes deep and starts spamming.
But again, Chris, that's the point though, because you have somebody coming deep to do it, but there's no midfield. That's the issue. And what we're going to do, and we'll get into us right now, we are absolutely going to do a press. We're absolutely going to suffocate them, go on a high line, play, Gabriel and White on the halfway line. And when Bruno does look to go deep and to do that and to spam a high ball cross, he's going to be met with a press that he can't do it in. And it's going to be Spurs 2.0. We're going to go hard and fast in the first 20 minutes. I don't think we sustain the press for the full 90 minutes, but we absolutely go for the first 20 as hard as we can. We end up doing...
We better, man. We better. This is
I can see this.
opportunity.
Bookmark this as well. Oba's going to get a pressured goal from David De Gea. It's just going to happen. It's going to be scrappy.
Or Fred.
No, Maguire is going to be the other one. Maguire is going to get spun, and it's going to be Martinelli that's going to spin him, and we're going to get a Martinelli goal at Old Trafford.
Saka's going to score.
I need the TikToks. So
maybe we should talk about us a little bit more specifically, because I genuinely feel, unless somebody can help me out here, does United offer a threat realistically? Because I feel Rashford right now is their serious threat. I don't agree.
Just individual.
Ronaldo's not their biggest threat in big games. He's probably
he's the
worst
one
player generally because he removes their compactness, therefore removes majority of their chance to win, and then he gets frustrated himself, especially when you score and you can't keep the ball, and he starts kicking out and then just starts walking around the pitch. And then Rashford is always like a big threat.
He's their biggest threat.
The pace, especially in transition, and he's looked to because they generally use the left wing. So it will, and Bruno loves finding him in behind, which is good for us because generally every team has tried to go in behind against us.
The biggest benefit, though, mate, is the fact that it's... Sorry?
I'm saying generally every team has, apart from City and Liverpool, obviously, and Chelsea, every team have looked to go in behind or go over the top, and White and Gabriel and Tommy also have dealt with it with ease, and apart from one time versus Watford.
So the issue is that Old Trafford are going to pressure, as United always do. Their fans always pressure them to make the stupid decisions. This can come at boardroom level, though. But Old Trafford won't let them be low block like what Carrick's done at Stamford Bridge and at Villarreal. That would give them the best chance to win. If they were smart, they would do that. They would let them, kind of Arsenal pressure and do it. But Old Trafford will want them to come out at us. And of course, for some deluded reason, their fans believe that they stand a chance. And so they're going to really get behind their team in order to step up. And that's going to be the undoing of them. They're going to be undone by that mentality. And again, I said that we're going to probably press, and they're going to be punished in transition. They have zero presence in the midfield, and they're going to likely start, in my opinion, Matic, Bruno, and Fred. That's what I believe that they're going to go with. I don't think they go with McTominay. But Maguire definitely comes back, and Maguire's going to get meaned. Maguire is going to get meaned. And without somebody to basically get out of their defensive line with their poor buildup, we're going to have an Aubameyang counter pressing goal. We're going to have somebody freaking out Maguire. And then in the last point, they're going to get scared and just keep doing long balls over the top. And we're just going to collect, because what have we done excellently in the last 5 games? Second ball control. It's been the one thing that we've done immediately in our team. It's the best part of our game. It's the reason that we can sustain pressure. We've got Gabriel and White who are proactive, nipping the balls in front and allowing us to sustain pressure again and again. So for me, very, very simple game. I just genuinely don't see a presence for them to get out. And you know what? If I'm really being honest and fair to United, I don't think it's fair to blame Carrick on this. They just simply don't have the players to get out.
It's not even just. It's not even just like. It's not even the players. It's just the fact that they've recruited so horribly that they overload in positions and underload in others. They just have, like, how many left wingers do you need in a squad? Like, seriously, how many? They just buy an efficient right winger, buy a right back, buy a center defensive midfielder. Like, there's so many places they just unloaded it just so they could just go, cool, we'll buy all of the strikers, all of the left wingers, and then that's it. Just go. Do your thing.
And then they buy an attacking midfielder and never play him. It's just
Exactly.
it's just the most stupidest thing that
And he won't play. He won't play. Donny won't play.
No, he won't. Definitely not play. That's the thing, though. I just feel like United are probably going to give the game to us. If we let them dictate play, like George said, like that's literally the game opening up for us. And I can't see them playing in a low block either because their fans are going to go berserk at them. And I think they're having a protest before the game as well. So their fans are going to be already pumped up. They're going to give Ole apparently some massive parade or something for his massive time at United. So their fans are going to be so up for it that they're going to press their asses off, and Arsenal are going to pick them up. I can see that happening for sure.
And you know what? So look, we all agree, I think, that there's going to be a press, but maybe we should get into the debates about the lineup because, United are boring. It's going to be simple. We know why they're weak. We know the one off chance that they have to potentially get a goal. It's an outlet through Rashford, and that's literally it. There's not much to analyze with United as usual, but with us, I think...
Let me just do this. He would legit improve them. That's how bad it is right now.
I'm not sure about that.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, for real.
No.
Actually, because on the counter with space in front, he might actually be able to hit.
He wouldn't be able to keep the ball for them, and they need someone to keep the ball.
That's passion. That's not ball.
No, I'm telling you, bro. Look, if you're playing counter-attacking football and you have space in front of you, that's how Pepe thrives. That's
the issue, though. That's the issue, though. They're a big team with massive names, so the teams are giving them a lot less space. So you need people to keep the ball, and if they're going to continue to play that way,
but they don't have the ball,
especially with Ronaldo, then Pepe.
But they don't have the ball.
Even in optimal situation, Pepe doesn't improve. Greenwood's better than.
Yeah, Greenwood. But the thing is, ideally, Greenwood and Rashford should be a pair together. I don't know why they're playing them on the wings. I
think we know why. We know why.
Yeah, obviously it's Ronaldo. So, but like, why they've gone down anyway? Let's do outwards. Focus on us anyway. So the main thing is Saka fit? If he is fit, if he's not fit, I think we'll do a lineup with him and without him. With him, I think it writes itself. Surely, I don't. The only thing I would change, the only change I would make is Tierney for Tavares. And
so the one thing I'll say medically, guys, is pictures mean nothing. Don't listen to Mikel's stuff because when we just in terms of what they need to pass, it's a daily stress test at this point. It's a couple range of motions, and there's not really much that I can tell you guys without examining him. It's a short-term injury, even if it was what he had. It's like 7 to 10 days. So right now for us, Saka is just totally up to the fitness staff. And you know what? Just based off of Mikel and reading between the lines, it's very likely that he's fit. But I say what we do is play in the scenario that he's not fit because it's a very easy decision if he is fit.
Yeah,
he starts.
I think for me,
Chris,
I
you're
do.
funny. So I think the big debate though we should talk is left back. Let's start at left back first because I think at the front line there's tons of stuff to do, but I really think that the left back decision is huge because I don't know about you guys, but Kieran Tierney has to start.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that I'm going to be insistent on, and if I don't see it, it's going to be a problem because Nuno Tavares' decision-making in the final third is questionable, and it's not something that we can do in an experienced game like this. And I think Kieran Tierney being a wide outlet is what's going to open up Partey a lot more. So a lot of people have some, some opinions on Thomas Partey, let's put it that way, in terms of what he's been able to do. But just factually, in order to open things up for him, we need the left side of attack because we've been funneling everything through the right now. and the reason we've been doing that is because we don't have a consistent outlet on the left. And Nuno, even though he's done great, the thing is he goes inside a lot more, and he doesn't offer the same outlet presence on the left that we have with Kieran, who opens up the attack far more. We're much more balanced in how we attack when we do so with an outlet. We open up both sides of the pitch. And I think even whether it's Saka, Martinelli at right wing, we have the outlet on the right and Tommy with the security. But with Nuno, who likes to come inside, he basically runs into ESR a lot, and we have to rely on essentially Saka switching positions to offer an outlet. That's the only time we've really seen that side used, and that's how he did it for his goal. And so right now, the biggest thing is key decision-making in big moments. That's what this team needs. The biggest reason that we capitulated against Liverpool, and I highlighted in the preview, was experience. Despite ways that you can hurt them, despite ways that we can hurt Manchester United, the biggest thing that you need in top 6 away clashes is experience. That's what you need. And so for me, Kieran Tierney has to play. I'm going to make an argument for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I think it's absolutely the play. I'd be really annoyed, but I know why we're probably not going to see him. I think Ainsley and Lukunga's decision is a lot more we're choosing education with a likely asset that's going to be here versus Ainsley, who's probably going to be gone in 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's legitimately it, because from an actual player perspective, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is far better choice to facilitate Thomas Partey, much better in transitions and in being able to help in the counter press. And so for me, it just really means that we're not choosing him because he's unlikely to be an asset that we're using. If Tierney starts, do Partey? Yeah, they do, 100%. And I think Partey will move up a little bit more personally, though, with Kieran Tierney, because you've got the security of Emile Smith-Rowe being more involved centrally. And, Kieran can own that right flank a lot more. And we'll see Sambi slot into that left half space a little bit more. I still would prefer Ainsley to do that a lot more, but we move. I do think that the Kieran Tierney decision is probably something that's that we need to discuss, because I don't know how you guys feel, but I think it's the biggest difference to Nuno right now. What do you guys feel?
I agree that I think Kieran needs to start, but I don't want to see, which typically happens with Kieran, and he starts on that kind of left wing. He's always too far up for me compared to. That's what I do like about Trafford. What he hasn't done is he has started further back and then has done the, just a simple overlap. Which
is that a system thing though, Willow?
No, exactly. That's the thing. It is a system thing, but that's what I hope doesn't happen though, because every time Kieran does play, he gets told to go further up in that left wing, and I need him to be a bit further back and actually do the overlap, because otherwise it makes it a lot easier. Kieran just gets marked out the game. It's a lot harder to find him. Or if he
but it
is there
suits
for the
Kieran
overlap,
also to start farther back too, mate. Like I really, the one thing I want to push back is I really think it was a structure issue, right? Like when we were having Kieran so high up, we were employing more of a 3-2-5, right? Like we all know that's the buildup that we were doing, but now it's a lot more 2-4-4. Like we have our full backs in the middle third, and Kieran is a big space runner. Like he prefers space to latch onto. It's not like he needs tight spaces. So I think it was very much a coaching instruction to do that.
Yeah, I agree that it was a coaching instruction, but it's like how it happened within a game. It's like Tavares plays and he plays completely different to Kieran, even though, it was.
Do you think it's different though, or do you think he's just allowed the opportunity to? I think he comes inside more for sure, but I also think people have underestimated Kieran's weak foot. I mean, he definitely has a very strong weak foot, and he's been more decisive in the box than even Nuno has.
But again, I think it's a coaching thing. It's go down, be the left winger, be touchline, and do all that, and that needs to change, because Kieran can, as you said, like people do underestimate what he can do on his right foot and how he can. I was sort of, back in the day when he was playing for Celtic, when he would actually come in and he would cause havoc actually coming in on the inside.
He came inside all the time. I don't know what this ridiculous things that people are saying only Nuno does that
all the time. So
I'm sure
I want
that as well.
Pardon?
No, I'm sure he scored a goal just by coming.
West Brom.
Yeah. West Bromwich did that.
A snow goal, yeah.
On his weak foot as well, beautifully curled into the top corner. So I need to be. Sorry.
The other thing is, no, sorry, go finish with it, then I'll go.
No, it's just I need to be seeing that more though, because it's just like the way, as we talked about, if Man U do come out and they do press us a bit, and they are up for the game, then that's so much better for an overlapping fullback. Well, if he's just getting marked up there and he is in that left wing position, he's just going to get marked out the game. Well, if he is overlapping, we're just going to be drawing their players out all the time. And we're just going to completely kill them with Kieran getting that ball without a man marking him and him whipping that ball into the box. It's going to kill him.
The other thing I'm going to say is the main thing for me to be, if we're going to go 3-2-5, I mean, I do think we'll go 2-4-4. I do actually see that happening, especially with Kieran back. But if we do go 3-2-5, it needs to be Tommy coming in. It can't be Lokonga dropping into that 3. It needs to be Tommy. That we saw how it worked against Brighton, and I don't want that happening again. It needs to be Tommy, White, and Gabriel.
But mate, another thing that I don't think people are considering when they just shout Nuno is who is the opposite partner that we are facing on that side? Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And if you're telling me that Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for all his faults of a marker, by the way, what is he excellent at? He's a great stand-up tackler and one-on-one defending. What does Nuno Tavares prefer as an outlet? To come inside, okay? And the idea that, Kieran Tierney wouldn't be a harder matchup for him on the wing when Aaron Wan-Bissaka struggles, by the way, with off-the-ball runs. That's what he struggles with. It's just, I'm not seeing any logic on the timeline. I really am not seeing any logic on the timeline for it. Kieran Tierney, besides the experience route, is tactically the better choice for left back. And if Arteta doesn't do it, it's going to be something I'll critique him for. Now, another thing I just wanted to say, though, is I think Yo-Yo makes a really good point about Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Tierney versus Sambi and Nuno. But there's a big reason why those partnerships work too. And I'm just going to go a little bit more tactically and why that makes the case a little bit better is because Lokonga isn't as much of a transition forward. And so if you look at him, his best game for Newcastle, what was he doing? He was in the left half space being a really good orchestrator in terms of passing volume. He made a lot of really nice deep passes and switches that we saw. But naturally what that means is, he isn't able to counter press as high. He doesn't have the same legs to go up. And so he relies on a powerful runner to come inside to give him the angle to pass. Okay, that is why he works well with Nuno. If Kieran was the one to do it, he wouldn't offer any options for him inside. And Lokonga basically only has one option, pass to Kieran on the wing. And you don't create that triangle. The reason that it works with Nuno coming inside is because Lokonga doesn't have the legs to step up. And, he's only left with one or two options. So when Emile goes wide and Nuno comes inside, you have a triangle, 2 points of contact. Whereas if it's just Kieran, only ESR comes inside and you're basically passing in one line. You have one option. So it's very easy to defend against. Now, the difference with Ainsley is Ainsley's able to step up. He's able to engage in the counter press. So he's not restricted to just staying in the left half space that's a little bit deeper. And that's exactly why that partnership with Kieran works a lot more with an Ainsley type of midfielder versus a Lokonga. And that's also why we saw Lokonga struggle. If you guys remember when Kieran was playing and, we had Lokonga at Burnley in the left half space role, it wasn't a great game, was it? It wasn't until we switched Thomas Partey to step up a little bit more and attack central zones that we really, flourished. But I think that's the reason why those partnerships work a little bit, just tactically. That's kind of the reason.
I mean, with El Neni, just a quick thing. I mean, I can see it happening. I wouldn't especially mind it, but I don't really see.
It's the same theory as an Ainsley Maitland-Niles to start, like in terms of profile between him and El Neni. And the only reason that El Neni has a higher chance than Ainsley is because I think we've made the decision that we'll keep El Neni for this transfer window, for this January transfer window. And I think Ainsley's future is a little bit more up in the air. I don't think there's a quality thing. I think this is off the pitch decision making and who's more likely to stay this season. And not even just this season, but in January.
I would be mad if that was the case and he was picking on that, though, because at the end of the day, the objective this year is to get top 4. I don't care who does it and who's going to be here and who's not. It's about getting top 4 at the end of the day.
But I don't think El Neni is the wrong choice, mate. Like, even in terms of logic for it, it's the exact same reason that we went with it with Old Trafford. Like, for me, the worst part is having more Lokonga and choosing education for education's sake. I would think that would be more of what you'd be upset about, no?
No, yeah, I'd be upset if I really want Ainsley to start. I think he'll run back that man of the match performance against Man U if he starts.
He'll sit on Bruno. That's another thing tactically that I was going to say. Like, it's not just the counter press, but the one option of United getting out is a Bruno pass from deep that he spams into the outlet, and you can have a man marking job on Bruno, and then boom, there's literally no threat. And so for me, that's why I preferred Ainsley in the system, not just from a counter pressing perspective to help out Kieran. Because look, when you have Kieran who is high and wide, like I know Willow, you want him not starting there, but I don't think he will. That's more of a build-up tweak. You know what I mean? But when he is high and wide, like in that phase, we need a midfielder that's comfortable meeting his marker, that's in that kind of wide space. And for me, that's the biggest thing that Lokonga struggles with. It's in transition still, and his positioning isn't 100%. The reason Lokonga looked good against Newcastle is because we had 80% possession in that first half. That worked its way down to 66 overall. But, guys, we had 80% possession. It was against a low block. Lokonga had all the space and time in the world. There was no press. And while we just, that's ironic to say against United, but just factually what they're going to do is they're going to give him less time than Newcastle did. I don't think we saw anything from Newcastle on that left side. They're right. ASM was starting on the left a lot more. And of course, Callum Wilson likes to attack that left half space. That's what they like to do from a method of attack standpoint. But I really think when you look at it, we may have to go away from Ainsley because I think we all have our reasoning for why he's probably far better to start with. But I think we're going to see a Lokonga partnership only because of education. I don't think it's tactically the right reason, but I think that's what we're going to see.
I mean, you know what? The other thing is with the whole the forward line issues, because there is some doubt. Obviously, Saka, no Saka. What do we do? For me,
why don't we play both scenarios? Like, what would you do?
Yeah.
Like, let's do good first and then bad. Or what do you guys want to do? Bad first or good later?
It's up to you. I don't really mind. I mean,
I think good first because that's a lot easier to do.
I mean, yeah. For me, it's quite simple. Aubameyang with Saka and Smith Rowe is not that hard, but without
who's your 10 current?
No, Laka, because of the press.
And Maguire, he has an excellent record against Maguire
but
for some reason, and I don't buy it's just because he's shit. For some reason, he's got his number.
I'll tell you why. For me, I feel like Matic plays, and I feel like he can be a pressing trigger for when he gets the ball for just for turnovers. So if it's me, I want the Douglas Luiz situation again. I want to put Laka on him, and when he gets the ball, don't give him any time. Turn the ball over, and off we go. So for me, it's Laka. So we'll see though.
Christina, what about you?
His face, man.
I'll be on the right.
This guy thinks he's funny dropping in 19, eh? This guy thinks he's funny.
Well, honestly, Saka and Aubameyang and then Lacazette. If Maguire, I hope Maguire plays because Laka always.
He's going to play. He's fit.
Always does. And then me on the left. And if Saka's injured, then what's his name? Martinelli on the right.
I will say though, with Saka injured, it does hurt us hugely. Like there was graphics going around in terms of looking at basically the build-up because there was graphs on deep completions, progressive carries, passes, and then progressive passes that were received. And Saka topped every single metric. It just shows he's not. A lot of times on Twitter, I'll say that he's our final third technical leader, but it's not just that. He's our leader technically, period, on the pitch. And, without Saka, it's 100% going to be the press that initiates our chance creation. It's not going to be through combinations. And, basically what you saw with Tommy is unlikely to happen because United are going to be camped out. It's not going to be as spacious. We're not going to really start our moves from the mid block as much because United will be pent back. So when you look at it, it 100% means that not only should Nicolas Pepe be clear, he's unlikely to. I think that sub spoke volumes against Newcastle that you had the opportunity to sub him on. and he's not. So I think he's officially done in terms of Arteta's reckoning right now. And Martinelli is gonna have that choice, on the right wing, and it's better for us because Maguire doesn't know how to do off the ball movement. The one thing that United's defense, even though it's quite poor, both on the ball and in general, but the one thing that they all hate is off the ball movement. They can't track runners, and Alex Telles is the exact same way. Like, that guy has no consideration for what's around him, and same thing with Maguire. So Martinelli's off the ball movement is going to be very, very important. In terms of if Saka is injured, I would go the same way. Martinelli, Lacazette, Oba, and then ESR.
It's also one of the reasons why they struggle on set pieces, despite being one of the biggest teams in the league, probably, because they are.
To be fair, they're better when Maguire's in the team.
Say that again?
To be fair, they're better when Maguire is in
better,
the team.
but not good.
No.
Yeah. But what would you do, Willa?
Me? Well, so I'd go Ramsdale, Tommy, White, Gabriel, Tierney. Then I'd do Maitland-Niles and Partey. Then if Saka's available, Saka. I would probably go Laka as well because Odegaard for me is just not doing it. Then ESR, but this is my differential. I'm going Martinelli up front. I'm benching Alba. I don't care. I don't care.
Who's your pressing though? How are you pressing?
Martinelli's pressing, baby.
But who's the second? You're gonna have who you're gonna have on the right?
Saka.
Well, Saka. Saka is on the right.
Oh, what about if he's injured?
Oh, if he's injured, then yeah, obviously, then it changes, and Martinelli goes to that right hand side, and then Alba goes up top. That's what happened. Huh?
Not Pepe.
Not Pepe. I don't want no screenshots of Pepe. That was fishing. No Pepe. No 19. No 19. 19 does not start.
Martinelli up front is no, it's not. I disagree much. I think we'll talk about Martinelli.
Nah, bro. Martinelli up front needs to happen sooner rather than later. I tell
Not
you that
sooner.
now.
It's just facts. He is a striker. I tried to tell people for so long, and that run is not a winger. Like, I'm tired of people misconstruing things. That was all pure striker instincts, the tracking, the composure, the banana peeled run. That is completely a striker's run. That's what we taught. And guess who was amazing at that? Robin van Persie. And I really do feel that we're turning him into somebody like that.
I'm still not over that my man said Newcastle and no one picked up on it. But we move.
What?
we move, George goes Newcastle.
Sorry?
In the middle of your thing went Newcastle. Cracking up.
Newcastle. Get your thing. Get your mind out of the gutter, Kurt. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, for me, it's the pressing for me. I feel like we need that second line of pressing behind Aubameyang, and I just feel like as a pair, they're still doing it. So I don't really see the reason to go.
Oh, Mush is saying from Willow, it's passion over ball to put Martinelli
Martinelli,
not Oba as a starting.
All I'm saying is Arsenal are going to be better off.
I do kind of agree with that.
No, I don't. I think in the short term and long term, if George, because you talk about Martinelli's going to be the future striker of Arsenal and he's going to do that, you need to start giving him You need to start giving him games and minutes. And for me, Aubameyang, what does he offer? I don't see it. Like, he doesn't have the hold up.
Well, he's our leading presser of the entire squad.
He is the leading presser, but I'm talking about when we're actually attacking. Like,
linking the play, he's far better at Martinelli right now at it.
I think that's quite harsh, bro. I think it's quite harsh. I think obviously he's not scoring the goals that we want, but in just the way we play,
he's
I
getting
feel like
the chances. He's got more big clear chances than anyone at Newcastle.
And plus, I feel like the players enjoy playing with him, and that's the thing. Like, regardless if the system works for him or not, for now, as long as we have, the team, we need to play him, and that's facts. And I feel like obviously Martinelli will get his chance. Martinelli will get his chance during January, February, whenever. But right now, he needs to play Aubameyang. Aubameyang is one of those big game players. He thrives off energy and the fans. Like, tomorrow, we need him more than anyone. Like,
I also think it's what he does to get back into form, mate. I think he relishes the crowd. He likes performing and being an entertainer. And again, I don't think he scores with a very good goal. It's going to be a crappy pressure goal. Like, David De Gea is going to take an extra touch, and it's going to be Aubameyang essentially stretching, and that's going to be the goal. Like, it's going to be a counter press goal, and I think that we do that with both De Gea and Maguire. Like, that's and that's especially true if Saka's not fit. Like, I don't think we do combination plays if Saka's not fit. But to be fair, Willow, I know you said, like, even with Saka there that you would do that. I think the big thing on Martinelli, mate, is I don't think for me he's ready necessarily to completely dominate a game 90 minutes right now. And I've always said that, the AFCON is when I have him breaking out, essentially, when Oba's not here. And specifically the North London Derby. I've said that since preseason. I think he'll do bubbling cameos from now, kind of off the bench, offer a lot, show us a lot, but he won't essentially start until the North London Derby up top. And I think he'll have a huge second half to the season. That's always been my kind of plan for it. And then you start to phase Oba out, right? And he'll become my plan is for him to start up front, kind of next season, but not quite this season. Like, we use this to still have Oba up top, but we phase him in.
How Oba plays accelerates it for me. He hasn't yet because of the team and what we've done, but he is lucky not to be costing the team points at the moment against Watford, against Newcastle. It's not that he's getting the chances and he's missing them. That's not the only issue with Oba. Like, I know we talk about, like, his link-up plays got better.
Well, how many goals has Aubameyang scored this season, by the way, in the league?
4. And missed 2 penalties.
He's missed 2 penalties, right? So
he's our leading goal scorer.
He's our leading goal scorer, and he's like, I'm not saying he's been amazing, but like he has been scoring. His link play has been much better, and he's actually winning ball in the air for the first time. I don't know how long.
Corin, I don't know, mate. I know the words you just spoke there, but to me that is ludicrous. Like, to be like, oh, he's our leading goal scorer with 4 goals. Like, yes, you should be. If you're up front and you're playing 90 minutes every game, yes, you should be our top goal scorer, especially with penalties as well, though. Like, it's not just that. Like, I know you also
I can understand the frustrations, though, Willow. But the one thing that I'm going to say is the role that we've asked Aubameyang to play is not the same. He's very much somebody that has to go into that left half space in order to be the outball. How many times have we seen, even at Leicester, that Ramsdale finds him between the lines?
This is the thing.
It's good saying he's the left-hand space and he gets the ball there, but he doesn't do anything with the ball. And the current
he lays off very, very, very well.
With Curran also saying, like, his link-up plays much better. Yes, his link-up plays much better for him because he had one of the worst link-up plays in the league. The guy's awful. The amount of times the guy gets the ball in for him and he takes a 10-yard touch backwards. Like, it's not good enough.
Well, how many times has he got us out of play in the build-up, though? That is what I'm going to ask, because I think the reason that you're going to feel that way, I believe, Willow, is because, if he's deeper, and this is one of my big issues about having, by the way, a false 9. And when you have a striker that is dropping into the middle third in order to help you progress the ball, because we don't have the people in the middle third to progress up the pitch, that's the fault of our midfield, not the fault of a striker. If we had ESR receiving in that right half space and another person who was technically good in the left half space that could offer the same reason, we wouldn't see Oba drop deep and he'd be restricted only to penalty box movement. And across his career, there's very few strikers that are better in the box than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And that, for me, besides form, which is fair, because I've been frustrated with him as well. I'm not going to act like I didn't scream when he hit the post. You know what I mean? Like, he's in poor form, no doubt about it. But when you give that man chances in the penalty box, he scores goals. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 strikers better than him in terms of Lewandowski, Benzema, in terms of actual goal output over the last 5 years. And it's Zlatan as well. But that's the conversation that we're talking about. And I think part of the reason is because we have a very dysfunctional midfield. And Lacazette and Odegaard aren't giving us enough aggression and push, both on the ball from a technical security standpoint, but also push up the pitch. How many times in Liverpool did we beat the press, fire it into Laka, and the ball broke down? We do this like way too often, and it's because we basically need another wide pseudo 10 just to get everyone happy, and the elite 5-yard burst guy on the left to get Emile closer to Saka. Because another thing, guys, is I think we need to get Emile closer to Saka as much as possible. Our best combination players need to be as close as possible to each other to develop relationships. And for me, that's a relationship that we are not making use of. And having ESR opposite to Saka in a team that lacks chance creation is one of the biggest mistakes that we've made entering into this season. Everyone knows my opinions on the Odegaard, signing. And I very much think that, we missed a trick not getting a left half space playmaker in order to push ESR central. Or if you wanted recruiting attacking mid that had the legs to hurt people. And, that's been the biggest issue. We have no thrust in the middle of the park. And that's why we're slow at the back. When Mikel is saying that we're slow, even at Newcastle in terms of building up the ball, it's because we don't have the middle third that when he receives it under pressure, he's bursting into space. We constantly rely on Saka to both do that, be a wide outlet, and be on the end of crosses. And I feel the same critique that we're doing with Oba, we're going to see with Saka. And that's why he's not getting a lot of goals and assists. He's doing way too much job that isn't his role. He should be the one finishing chances, not the one helping to start them or even facilitate them. That shouldn't be the role that we give.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, it's the fact is, you have a striker like Aubameyang, and if we're going to ask him to do the role he's doing, then you're going to sacrifice goals and you're going to leave goals on the table. It's always going to be the case. Aubameyang's always been a high-volume striker. He's never been an efficiency monster that will take one chance and then hit it. He's always been a high-volume, low-efficiency striker. That's how he's always been. And we succeeded with him because we used to provide him with tons and tons of chances, and he used to score. And he's very much a confidence player as well. And you have players that he's very much, once he gets going and rolling, he's fine. But at this moment in time, he's in a bad vein of form. There's no doubt about it. That Newcastle miss was unacceptable. But I don't really see what are we going to do? We're going to put Nketiah what happens then? Like, what are we doing? So I just feel like we're going. Well,
you said anything about Nketiah?
No, but
who would you play with a?
Yeah, I said Martinelli up top. I said full chest, Martinelli up top. So the way I go, like this is the thing we're talking about.
Not against United, though. Come on.
I don't care about Alba just missing, because as you said, Karen, you're right with Alba. He needs the chances to do that. But that's the thing. We're not getting him that at the moment. And if the team's not doing that, then you don't play a striker like Aubameyang.
Willow, I'd fully agree with you if Oba wasn't doing the roles that he's doing this season. He's dropping a lot deeper. He's actually creating space for some of our players. And that, like for example, he receives the ball from Ramsdale in midfield, and then he kind of flicks it to the left back or the right back, and that's actually a pattern of play that's been practiced in training, and that's something that we need in the team right now. The moment he stops doing that, and the moment he stops scoring goals as well, that's when you can say he needs to be cut off. But right now, he's a pivotal part of the way the team plays, and I think we need him in the team right now. If you put Martinelli in the team to start against United, that's going to be our team is going to be a lot more dysfunctional than you'd actually think.
I think Martinelli should have been playing sooner. This is the thing. I've been saying this for weeks now, and this is the thing. And Alba just keeps proving me right at the moment with what he's doing.
No, I agree with that. I agree with it.
Have you believed that Martinelli has played consistently throughout the season to demand that, Willow?
No,
when he's been given chances, that in terms of full 90 minutes, because I agree with you on the potential of Martinelli, but I have to be fair and objective. Like this season, when he's been given an opportunity to play 90 minutes, has he given you a 90-minute consistent performance?
How many 90 minutes has he been given this season, George?
He's been given 2, and on each one he's failed to impress on them. The biggest things that he's done are cameos.
But that's it. Like you do need consistency to actually come in and start getting consistent.
But are you willing to chance it without the precedent that he's been able to do it? And it's not even just this season. It's been for 6 months, if I'm really being fair.
Yeah, I'm willing to chance it because Alba's been doing it for a year and a half. I'm ready to chance it. Alba's performances for a year and a half have not been good enough.
But has Martinelli provided enough off the ball consistency that Oba has done? That forget the goals because they're both inconsistent. Okay, they both haven't done the goals, right? So from an output perspective, they're tied in a sense. They don't offer more than each other. But off the ball and in terms of linking play, has Martinelli, while by the way, I believe in his potential to do it and all of that, has he shown the consistency even once of a 90-minute performance that he's been able to do that in the last year?
Yeah, maybe not of a 90-minute performance. Maybe not. But I'm willing to put my chance on it.
And
That's fair enough. That's your opinion.
that I understand, because then
Yeah,
that's
that's
you
fair.
basically saying, I believe in the youth project. I would rather take the troughs, and I would be okay with taking the troughs.
It's
But
the Lukonga argument.
I think what I'm doing, what I would say is Mikel is making the bet very much in the same way as the Ben White decision versus Saliba. And this is where I would draw analogies, where we have potential of somebody that, in my opinion, is a far better player than Ben White. But does he guarantee you where we need to go? He doesn't. And as long as that ambiguity exists, the manager is going to choose experience. Now, has experience always helped us? No. And that's where I hear your point in terms of what you would be okay with. I would, in fact, be okay with it. But, I think in this scenario, in this game, and especially understanding what was the downfall of Liverpool, what was the downfall of a lot of our top 6 away clashes, it was experience. And I just don't think if Martinelli had given us even 90 minutes in the last 6 months where he showed that he could do it, I would risk it. But I honestly can't remember. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. The last time he showed that was Emery in the Europa League against Standard Liège.
Mhm.
In terms of a striker 90-minute performance that he was consistent, was there one?
No, the other what I would say to
And I
you is,
love
first
him.
of
I
all,
want him to do it.
how
Unless
many
I'm
times have you seen
wrong.
Martinelli 9 in the first place? Never mind in a massive game at Old Trafford.
I don't know why you're putting that up, Christina. I'm gonna censor him.
No, but the thing is, for real, how many times have we seen Nelly 9, never mind against United and never mind for 90 minutes? Is this the game you chanced it?
Mate,
Can't be
no,
this game,
I'd have chanced it about fucking 2 months ago, a month ago, but that can't
That's
be
fine,
the case.
but
it
is what it is. We're playing Man
Oba was
United
scoring
tomorrow.
2 months
But,
ago.
but yeah, exactly. He was. He. I don't think he's been bad this season. That's the thing. I only think he's been bad in the last 2 games, which was, I think it was Liverpool and it was against Newcastle. Against Watford, he did miss chances, but I don't think he was bad. He's not been bad this season overall. Yeah, I don't think he's been bad overall. I feel like we're judging him a bit too much. Maybe he's not scoring enough goals for us. Fine. But his overall performance, he has collectively been much, much better than we've seen Aubameyang ever play in his career. And we've got to give him credit for that, because he's essentially evolved his game out. How old is he again? 31, 32?
32, yeah.
On his passport.
No, we've got to give him credit.
I disagree on how far he's actually evolved his game. I mean, his pressing's been a lot better, but the hold-up play, I think he gets way overhyped on how, he gets praised for doing decent hold-up play. I think.
No, but I'll give you a perfect example. It's the Spurs game.
That goal doesn't happen without him.
I agree. Spurs game was a quality game from Aubameyang.
Leicester did as well, though.
Leicester,
he did the same thing during Leicester and Villa. Our biggest performances where we've scored the most goals in the Premier League. Because, by the way, we've only scored majority of our goals in those games where he did play well and he did that. What was that? Our biggest output was when he was playing in that role. And I don't think
that's our left-sided outlet at this moment in time. We have Saka on the right as our
outlet. But that's the problem. I consistently – but here, guys, I want to transition this into maybe a broader striker discussion, because I think we're having the wrong art, and I have this daily on the timeline. People are like, why, George, don't you think you have a striker? Why don't you want a striker? Do you guys believe having somebody drop into that left half space is suitable for scoring goals? Or would you rather a midfielder do those jobs? Yeah, regardless of Oba and the debate on it, in general, would you rather your number 9, Vlahovic, Dominic Calvert, whoever you believe can do it, okay, insert name here, should he be the one doing it?
No, and this is the thing.
And the question that I have too is, people keep saying that we need that type of striker against your Liverpool and your cities. Well, I'm sorry. I hope to get to the point that we're not a counterattacking team against these teams. I want to impose play. I want to get to the point where we have enough quality on the pitch that we're able to stand toe-to-toe with the best teams. Because I guarantee you Liverpool and City aren't relying on an outlet in order to get out against the Bayern Munichs and the best teams. They're playing their way. And for me, this idea that a false 9 is the only way to do it is just really false, in my opinion. I don't understand the logic, and I think it's very tactically limiting. Because you cut that supply line, how are you going to get out?
Let me put it this way, right? We have, let's put it just very simply, goals from midfield. We have Emil, and if you want to count Saka because he's on the wing, fine. maybe, I mean, Erdegaard's had a free kick, fine. But like consistent goal output, I would say the only midfielder we have is Emil. You look at City, they have Gundogan, they have Bernardo, Foden, they have, correct me, let me know if I'm missing anyone. You know what I mean? Like they have 3 or 4, 5, like consistently producing.
Grealish, like
Grealish,
they pack their and look, the one thing that I want to say is, guys, I think there's a little bit of subjective viewing. I get into this argument all the time. It's like, look, mate, if you prefer watching a back to goal striker, then just say I prefer that, but don't say that's what the team needs. Like structurally, there's 2 options that we can go. And I sent a tweet out earlier.
Even with Liverpool,
well, Liverpool are very different because they attack very, very differently, and that's where I always push back. So look, I sent a tweet earlier out in the week, okay? And I basically said the most exciting thing about 2022 is seeing Arteta's preferred attacking philosophy. Because to date, he's only worked with what he's had. He's not made a signing in the attack, period, end of story. So we don't know what he likes. So for example, are we going to attack with an extra player when we get more midfield control and progression? Can we do that? We don't know if that's what Arteta wants to do. I have an inkling he does, especially how Thomas Partey was playing against Newcastle. Did anybody see that? Tomiyasu is a lot farther up the pitch, and I was like, no shit, because we have midfield control. What was consistent in that performance? We had almost 66% possession, which Z, you got your demand that you've been saying for months that you wanted to see, right? And what we saw was a change in role. Okay, we saw Thomas Partey covering the half space a little bit more. So do we add a player in attack when we've got another player on the opposite side to do the exact same thing? I think so. I've always been very confident of that. Another question is, do we want our striker to quote unquote link, or do we want him to move off the ball? I really detest this idea that Martinelli's goal, by the way, is not link. Okay.
No.
It's off the ball movement. Okay. And the biggest thing that I always say, guys, is when we look at, positional play, what's the jugo de posición? All right. The fun thing that all these tacticos on Twitter, me included, love to talk about, is positional play. For you guys, if you have a really, really good structure, okay, how do you break down structure? There's 2 ways, okay? It's through dribblers on the pitch, and it's through movement. You need to have an outlet, and you need to have dribblers that can break into systems. I've always said the recruitment, we need to add ball-carrying progressors in every third of the pitch. And the reason I say that is because with positional play likely to become the norm across not just the top 6, but everywhere in football, we need players that are comfortable taking the ball and drawing players out of position. And for me, that is best used in the midfield, not at the final third. I don't need my striker to drop in and then hope my outlets latch onto the ball, especially when we're a halfway line defending team, because these outlets don't have the space that people are saying. And so when we're going to face more low blocks, we're going to face more Newcastle scenarios with a lot better mid blocks. Okay, we're going to face a lot better teams that are doing that. We're not going to see the same space. For me, we need to solve the midfield issue about us getting out from the middle third. This is our problem. Because, guys, when we're in the final third, we're actually okay. We're actually pretty decent. We don't make always the right decisions, but we do consistently get the ball into the box. There's a reason that our chance creation is a critique on not getting enough good quality chances, but we get chances. And the reason that switch hasn't occurred, in my opinion, is the midfield. I don't know what you guys, I want to get your guys' opinion on the debate. Like, do you guys think it's a question of having a striker drop into midfield, or where do you think the hole is happening? And do you guys agree with the analysis that like we do create chances, but we don't create enough good quality chances? That's the reason for not a high output.
No, the main thing is the spacing for me. I'm really annoyed with this idea that it just a striker is the solution when you don't create high volume, good XG chances. It's just not the case, and we're struggling to create that right now. I mean, we're not doing horribly, but I wouldn't. There's nowhere near where I want us to be, and I think that's our main issue with this team. So for me, it's a left-sided midfielder. That's the main thing that I want, and I want someone that's not only good at producing and creating chances, I want someone that's able to take shooting opportunities, and I want someone that's a good outlet. I want to be able to do these things and push our striker further up the pitch, because we have always been a club with strikers that are great off the ball, that strikers that are able to make the correct runs at the correct time. And that's what Arsenal is. From Henry, Bergkamp, Van Persie, etc., being list names, Giroud. Like, we have teams that have excellent an excellent off the ball movement, and excellent in terms of actually understanding their role in this team as a striker. And you say no with Giroud, but the thing with Giroud is he was able to link up play well, and like he understood his role at the time very well. In that, from that 2012 to about 2014 run, he did understand how to link up with the players around him. We had
what happened to the best teams, Kern? So with Giroud, this is what my fear is, and I don't understand, because we've gone. I don't want to be ageist, but I think it's younger fans. Anyways, with Giroud, okay, factually, in terms of getting top four, a lot of times we did, but where did we ultimately fail? In every big game. In every big game we failed, and why was that? And it wasn't just because of Giroud's finishing. It wasn't, guys. It wasn't that. It was because we were playing more counterattacking in many of these big games. And you had your maybe landmarks Chelsea, you had your landmark United wins where we did break out, and we did that. You did. But on the whole, the reason is because outlets don't dominate the ball. They simply don't. And so for us, the biggest thing is to dominate possession and sustain pressure. That is the biggest thing about any big team. And that's the only way that you're going to beat the bigger teams as well. And you don't do that with an outlet. You know, in my opinion, we've seen it with Giroud, where we have the sample size that he'll beat the top 6 teams if you do, but we're going to lose to the best teams. And for me, I want a striker that is a mover. In fact, our best strikers, Anelka, Thierry Henry, okay, Robin Van Persie, you know, they weren't post-up linkers. They just weren't. Our best strikers in our club's history were movers. And there's a reason for that.
Well, for me then, on the striker thing, I think it's quite evident where I stand. I think an off-the-ball runner is much better, just because I feel like you can recruit the midfielders and to do the job that people want the striker to do, dropping in. Because when the striker drops in, you have a man or one less man in the box, or a man further from the box. And generally, the only times you've seen Oba score when like dropping deep and then scoring is because he has the pace most complete nines don't have. For example, the Spurs goal, he dropped to the halfway line to link play, and then he's fast enough to make it to the edge of the box to be on the end of the Emil ball. But say example, Laka or someone else people want, they wouldn't be able to make it. And I just believe the dropping deep and the pinning defenders it just isn't used necessarily at the top. Like the teams that people say they want us to be like, or they want us to beat, none of them use a complete nine or like a big bully anyways. Like City don't use a striker, Liverpool don't have one, Chelsea play worse with Lukaku on the pitch than
without.
Bayern Munich, who's probably the only competition in Europe.
Yeah. So the big four in Europe right now don't use this big bully, that this powerhouse that everyone seems to want and believes is like the fix. Because like generally, when we lose, it's the midfield issues. I believe like us not being able to win our second balls in midfield or just retain the ball and progress it. Because Liverpool, we couldn't move past like the Laka, the 10th area. We couldn't move forward to Oba to come deeper, and it just didn't work. What would a big bully do in that situation where your supposed 10 is unable to keep the ball, and then your left centre mid or left DM is struggling in his duels? Like that wasn't a striker issue. It was midfield and not being able to win your duels across the whole pitch generally. But yeah, like for me, I've always preferred the off the ball mover. Why I always say Martinelli's like our best striker product, even though Balogun's like a top one, and I prefer Martinelli. And keep saying
You
that.
know what I find hilarious, Chris, is that people yell for all the qualities that Balogun is, and they start reaching for names that are inexperienced, saying, but he can hold the ball and do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, you're describing Valerian Balogun. And if you're telling me you have a 25-year-old version of what you're demanding, because they always say Isaac, Vlahovic, they say,
youngsters as well.
Yeah, and even the guy that I love, Eamon Guri, I don't understand the point in recruiting this type if you've got another 20-year-old who's able to do it. And he has the exact same profile. I don't get it.
I think at Arsenal, I'm going to keep saying it, but I think we're literally spoiled for choice at striker and like literally littered with strikers that we want. I don't think
there's so many, man.
Beneficial to sign them. And they're all very different. Like Terry Jones, Balogun is like so strong for a relatively small striker. He's like 5'11", maybe 5'10". And then
guys, I got a question for you guys though, because I think Alex has, I don't know, I really disagree with this point. Said that Henry was Salah before Salah, but better. I could not disagree more. I mean, I think Henry was the level of connection that he had in midfield was far more than Salah, and Henry is a very difficult one to profile because there really hasn't been somebody that's equally as good. Salah doesn't have the playmaking ability that Thierry Henry did. They were eons apart. And, in terms of what he maybe preferred, was the only thing that was similar was drifting wide and then coming central. That was the only pattern of play that I think they're similar in. But the pace, power, the receiving on the half turn, it's very, very different in my opinion. I think he is far more R9 Brazilian is the closest thing that's come to a Ronaldo.
Like I think,
or not Ronaldo, in terms of an Henry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the big difference between Salah and Ronaldo is like the distance that because obviously there's so many clips of Salah like very good dribbling in tight space. He's going past 3-4 man, but that's within like a 15-meter radius where he just goes from man on the edge of the box and then score. But Henry would very, very frequently just drift to the halfway line and just combine play or just take it past 6 man and just score goals. Like I think he understood tempo a lot better in general play than Salah, rather than just in the final third. I think obviously they're both great finishers, different type of finishers. I think Salah uses.
No, he has less tools in his locker, mate. He has way less tools.
I mean, like in terms of the finishing, I think Salah used the ball striking more rather than, even though Henry had great ball striking with his free kicks and stuff. Salah puts his foot through goals more.
He has less variety to his finishing. Actually.
Yeah, but obviously, and I think the comparison comes from Salah being the best of this era and Henry being the best of his era,
but also the wide drifting, mate. Like those are the same. They both do drift wide and then attack central.
But Salah couldn't play central.
Sorry,
I think Salah couldn't start centrally.
He can't. No. And but so I don't know. I see it, but I don't know. I wanted to get everyone else's opinions, but also there was a couple questions up top too that I wanted to address and make sure that we're addressing.
Yeah, Chris, check your mic, man. First of all, but in terms of questions in loan, I want to see championship. I want to see someone in the championship for me.
I don't know where I'd want to see Balogun because for me, I think championship tells us more about his ability to start immediately in England. But for his career and his projection, if he goes to the Bundesliga, he's going to rip it apart. He's going to get 20 goals.
It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah. And but I don't know if we learn anything new by him going to better teams. Probably. I mean, Z, you have more information on that stuff, but I think he has better teams. But I think for his development, the championship does a lot more.
I mean, for me, I just think I'll prefer to see him because I think I need him ready for next season. For me, that's my thing. And someone mentioned to me earlier on Twitter about maybe a culture shock might be good for him, and he might be something that he benefits from. I would love to see him at like a team contending with promotion, just for the pressure, to see how he handles it, to see
He'd do well for Norwich when they go down.
when they go down. Yeah. So for me, I need to see. I'm not just going to name a team. The names that come to mind is maybe Bournemouth, something like that. I don't know what their striker situation is looking like. But
Still got Solanke.
It's Solanke. This is the thing. So I just think
I think Norwich is the move, mate. I think when they go down, because they're a team that loves the up and down for the money.
But we need this 6 months. I
still would give them Norwich, even in the Premier League. I think he would do excellent, even for Brighton.
I don't think he starts at the moment for Norwich. Pukki's got 3 goals in 4 games.
Oh, I think he starts.
I think it would take a while.
He's got 14 goals in 10.
I know. But I still think it would take a while to integrate him into the team. Like, if you think there's only like a 6-month period left, or no, it's from January to May. So
you're basically saying like you think the seniority in the dressing room factor
Pukki's
is
like
more
a huge dressing room. Yeah, I just think it'd take a while to get in there. I wouldn't go to Norwich now.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely only agree to a Prem loan if they guaranteed him a start.
Yeah,
and that's unlikely. So I hear
the only place I can see is maybe Brighton, but I very much
Southampton, Brighton. There's quite a few teams that probably need a striker like Balogun. Like, he probably is better than some of the strikers in the Premier League that start.
Yeah, Steve, I don't think Newcastle's a thing with Callum Wilson. He's their tip of the arrow. So think of teams that lack a tip of the arrow. I did want to get some other questions from a little bit higher up, guys, before we do our predictions and we wrap up, because it's been a long one. But Kulusevski, the Swedish guy, from Italy, I think Mush was saying thoughts on him. He's another pseudo 10 that's a lot slower, in my opinion. Excellent ball striker, but he would essentially replace Odegaard and Lacazette in that role and be the right half space version of that pseudo 10 and let ESR go. I think he isn't the move as a starting piece. I love him as squad depth. If you were asking me the question in the summer, Odegaard or Kulusevski, I would have told you Kulusevski as the squad depth option. But as a starter, I see some red flags personally, mate, in terms of his ability to be that starting 10. And I wouldn't do that. I don't know about you guys.
I struggle commenting because I haven't watched him like that. But like from what I have seen, he looks okay. He looks decent enough. I think he starts for Sweden, doesn't he? Like, I think he's fairly. I think he's fairly well.
He's a good player. I don't like this narrative on Twitter that he's a poor player. He's a good player, but I don't want squad depth. I want starting 11. And for me, we've already got the squad depth in Odegaard.
For me, he just reminds me of pre-injury Odegaard, and that's something like I don't want him if we have someone like Odegaard in the team, regardless if Odegaard doesn't bring much to the team right now. I think it's literally the same thing. We should be bringing a player that that offers something different. Like you said, Houssem Aouar. Like, Houssem Aouar is completely different to what we have in the team, and if we can get someone similar to Houssem Aouar in the market, I don't know, cool, but we should not be getting someone like Kulusevski. I feel like we need to move away from these left-footed profiles.
Do you know what I do take away from this link, mate? Like, look, you know me with transfer. I think there's hidden messages, and I always think people look at the name and they get excited, and that's not it. Yep. You know what I see? Arsenal leaking the story that they want a wide playmaker. That's what I see. Not necessarily the person, but they want that profile, in my opinion, and that's what I think is being leaked. I don't know what your guys' thoughts, but like that's how take away basically.
That's basically what my thoughts are as well. I mean, for me, it's about. I mean, we'll move on to this one as well. So, for me, when I look at links, I'm not a huge link person. I always kind of I'm very much on the thought process. I don't care until I see something on the website. I just don't care. I'm fed up of just getting excited over every single player that gets linked. I really don't care about it at all. If you ask me about specific players, like for example, Calvin Phillips, I'll watch and I'll see how I think. And with Calvin Phillips, I understand the upside. I understand the defensive prowess, the ability in one-on-one duels, the ability to trap the ball.
But he's the same logic as a Kulusevski current, right? Like,
he's a squad depth DM. He's a squad depth DM. I don't see him because the thing is, what people understanding when they get offended.
He's not good enough on the ball. He's excellent at pressures and off the ball and interceptions, but he's not good enough on the ball to be that starting DM.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is when we talk about players and people seem to like, and we say they're squad depth, they're not starting 11. We are talking about a team in 2 years that should be competing for major honors and should be winning them, and even next season should be competing for major honors. So this is the point. We're not looking. People keep. I'm tired of this narrative that you don't want this player because you don't think we'll get them. No, it's because I want better. We have higher standards. We're not here going, oh, we're just happy with just a Europa League place and maybe we'll eventually get in the Champions League one day. No, we want to win. We know there's a plan. I think the club knows there's a plan as well. So I agree about Calvin Phillips being a good squad depth option. I think he is that option. There are better options available on the market, and because there are better options on the market available, he shouldn't be your first choice.
For example, I think Dennis Zakaria offers more for free, in terms of how we can use our funds. And the backup DM for me shouldn't be wasted on money. We should be prioritizing the starting DM, which is something we really need. I think a really good question about Kratos was saying, what would be your guys' ideal midfield? Look, guys, I've said this on Twitter. Money, no object. My dream is Declan Rice paired with Thomas Partey and ESR in the hole.
It's not happening. It's a dream, George. It's a dream.
Relax. Let me have my thing. That's my ideal.
It's an ideal. The question is ideal.
So I would prefer Boubakary Samare, even still now. If I had the choice between Declan Rice and Boubakary Samare, I still would prefer Boubakary Samare, because for me, Boubakary Samare has that extra bit about him technical-wise, especially in the final third. But those right now, Declan Rice and Boubakary Samare, they're your top DM talents in the world. And then whatever you're going to suggest after that is a step below, in my opinion. You get into your kind of your Basuma, which is jailbait. I don't know what that's going to happen there. But then you start to get, essentially issues with a plan B list. And so for me, I think that the biggest question that I also get on Twitter is, not only would a 6 have improved us far more than these striker shouts, but what is more common in terms of recruitment anywhere in the world? A DM that's available for you for 8 years, or a number 9, or a winger, or attackers in general? Like, what is more available on the market? I'll put that question to all of you guys. So if you're going to spend £100 million, let's forget the impact on the team, because I think both offer you huge impacts on the team, right? So let's put that to a side. But from pure availability, what is more common on the market? A DM that's available for 8 years, that's among the best in his position, or a striker that's among the best in his position?
I mean, you know the answer already. It's pretty obvious.
It's a leading question.
The fact is when you have a strong center that you can build your team around, it's much more valuable, and that's always going to be the case. And in terms of my ideal midfield, I agree with Rice. I think Partey is going to be and should be the option. But if we're talking ideal, like money is no object, we can do anything. I think Gravenberch is there as well. I think he's right up there in that 8 profile.
He wouldn't pair well with Thomas Partey.
You think? No, not with Thomas Partey, with Rice.
With Rice, if you want a 3-man midfield, sure, not as a pivot.
Not as a pivot, no. But if we're talking 3-man with Emil, I think that's a good.
Corin, I thought you converted to 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, he
I'm not converted. Like literally, you guys don't listen to me then.
He says 4-2-3-1 is better to win now, but he prefers a 4-3-3.
Exactly.
Don't listen to you. I haven't been here for a while.
Exactly. This has been my thing. My thing has always been, I prefer in this league at this moment in time, a 4-2-3-1 is the ideal option, and I agree with that. But if you're talking ideal, my ideal system is still a 4-3-3. I still love it, but I agree that you can't win with it in this league at this moment in time. So I'm willing to, put my love for the side and take one for the team. So ideally, it would be Gravenberch with Rice and Emil. I still think that's one of the best midfielders you can make. And You get that. That's my midfield, man. Those are my profiles. So, or if you're not Gravenberch, then Jude. Either
Jude's
Jude
better.
Far better.
or
Jude,
Jude. Yeah,
yeah.
probably Jude.
Jude's already seen the stadium and the training ground and everything as well. He knows.
So this is the thing.
He's seen the
So
stadium and training on
either-
every big prep team.
Yeah, that was so funny.
For me,
Look,
it's Rice as well. People keep messaging me because I said he's better than Fabinho. But yeah, I'll just leave that for
He
another
will
day.
be more complete than Fabinho.
I'll leave that for another day. But yeah, Rice for me is the big superstar or big midfield signing.
Guys, and you know what? I really
sure.
think, man, we have a chance at this. We have a chance at this. Like, you know, yeah. So Tchouaméni is 100% going to Chelsea. Okay. And I think with Ragnick coming in, Ragnick will never sanction a £100 million purchase. Their fans will want it, their board will want it, but Ragnick won't. I think we're going to see a big difference. And what do they target immediately? Amadou Haidara from RB Leipzig.
Beneficial for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going 100 million route.
No, they're not. Like but that's what Ragnick implies. And so I think, where would he go? City. People keep saying City, and I don't think so with Rodri and Romeo Lavia, who is one of their best DM prospects in the league, by the way. Lavia is an excellent talent, and he's already started in the first team, guys. He had an League Cup appearance. They already have their current best and their project. So I honestly see in the top teams, there's a huge, if we wanted it, and we wanted to do that, because I believe that we're due a marquee. In the summer, the one thing I will say, whether it's striker, center mid, and I know that the links are like this, but I've always said for a long time in group chats and abroad that our prioritization of striker will change. Well, I do other shows and stuff, but I've always said striker is not my. I know it's okay. I've got a trademark here, guys.
Other shows are available.
I've said that a striker priority will change when we recruit that wide playmaker. I'm very convinced that Houssam Aouar comes in January, and I think he shows. Aubameyang goes into form. I think he shows the reason we don't need a striker by recruiting someone there and Emile being in the hole. And when we see that, we're going to see that we don't need a striker, especially because Martinelli is going to show he's fully capable of not only being a backup, but being our option there. And that's going to allow us to really prioritize the center mid. And for me, the marquee has to be there. You know, I think Declan Rice would be just immense, mate. Like, I would spend £100 million on Declan Rice.
I would love if like last day of the season we like push them out the top four and then he signs for us afterwards.
No, last day of the season we're going to be Everton 4-0.
but yeah, we need to move on to predictions.
And O'Malley, yeah, I absolutely think Aouar's leaving because he's in the last 18 months of his contract. And if you offer him £30 million right now, he's gone.
Yeah, I mean the other thing is, but before we wrap up, we do need to do predictions because we need to start saying things with
we'll have a space on transfer, guys. Don't worry. We'll have a transfer space.
We'll be doing a transfer show. So
I'll fix it.
Yeah, you fix it. I'll start chatting my shit. So I don't think they're scoring. I think it's going to be 3-0. I think we're going to go for 3-0.
I love it. Poke that chest out. Poke it out.
So this is the thing. For me, it's hard because it is obviously much controversial stuff. So look, I just don't feel like they possess the ability in transition to actually threaten us. I feel like they lose the ball too often, and we sustain pressure well. The only way they score for me is our own mistakes. I don't feel it like it's going to be a case where they sustain pressure or a moment of magic. No, it will be a mistake. So, and you'll see, we discussed this earlier because Willow, obviously the snake, was saying that I'll copy.
Give him grief, boys. Give him grief.
I agree. Retweet Willow.
Yeah.
But
justice for George. Get it hashtag.
Justice for George.
Justice for George.
Hashtag outsmarting George. Okay, let's be real. Outsmarting George. So, but the point is, 3-0 for me. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think I'm going to be tuning into Goldbridge at the same time as the game because it's going to be a lovely stream. and I'm going to be, notifications on for United stand people. So, yeah, I do think we're scoring 3. Maybe it could be 2, but my gut says 3, and I feel like that defense is going to, especially if Maguire starts, I'm not going less than 3. It's going to be 3. I feel like Slabbe gets turned. I think his fridge-like reflexes are not going to be what is needed at the time. And I understand who's on ref.
That doesn't matter. The team tactically and the analysis is just crazy in our favor for me. That has no bearing on the game. Like, we're going to blitz them Spurs 2.0. And it's a matter of how much you believe we can score in that blitzing moment.
Yeah, so for me, it was 3-0. I initially said 3-1. I'm going 3-0. So, yeah, that's me.
Z?
Are you there? We've lost a Zed. Willow, do you want to go?
I think it's going to be a typical Arsenal Old Trafford performance, and it's going to be fucking abysmal. It's going to be not the foot, but it's just going to be very boring. I think Man U are just going to sit back. I think I think they will press us for a time, but I think they will slowly burn out of that. So I just think it's going to be a 1-0 Arsenal. I think it will be a boring game. I think it will
1-0 to the Arsenal.
Well, I think it'll be a classic 1-0 to the Arsenal. I think it's just going to be a shit house game. I think we're going to score a shit goal, and I think their fans are going to be complaining until the cows come home. So let's just hope I'm right.
I'm actually dying. Chris, mate?
Go.
Or no, he's out. Should I go?
Yeah, you go.
All right. So it's going to be 3-1. Absolutely. We're going to do a Spurs 2.0. And we're going to be blitzing. Them absolutely what's going to happen. And I think Saka, by the way, is 100% going to start. I really think that just a lot of the reading between the lines in terms of him, I think he'll be starting. And we're going to blitz them very early. I went the entire preview in terms of talking about how United are so poor, they're going to go on the break. And I do think Rashford does score for them, not Ronaldo. And I think they do hit us on a consolation break kind of in the second half after we've won. I very much see a Spurs scenario of going up early, basically 3-0. And then at halftime, we call off the dogs. And I do think that they get a jammy goal from something. But realistically, I think that we clamp down Bruno. They don't have an out ball. And again, Aubameyang's going to have a shitty pressing goal. That's going to be the first goal that's going to be scored. Then Bukayo Saka is very likely to score. Continue his run, and Emile Smith-Rowe is going to score. Aubameyang won't beat the scoring allegations in a sense because it's going to be a very shitty goal, but I guarantee you a David De Gea error, a Maguire error is going to happen. And of course, Emile, third man run. That's essentially what's going to happen. And then Rashford will come on in the second half and do a jammy consolation goal.
All right, guys, I need to go, but I just needed to say, I know I predicted a 1-1 draw, but it's just something I just don't want to jinx this scoreline. I'm going to the game. I just want to have a good time, and I hope we bring back the 3 points. But I'm just going to put 1-1 as just a protection for myself. So yeah, all right, guys.
Peace.
I have to go. Take care, man.
Yeah.
Chris, my dear.
I've been thinking we'll win 3-1 for a very long time now. I think we're just gonna just blitz them. I think Saka's gonna score. I've been saying that for. I really think Saka scores. Emile will score as well. They'll both get another goal in a big game.
That's why Emile got his fade, eh? Because he knows he's scoring.
And then Oba will score and then shut people up. I think Fred will have a part to play in one of the goals just because
assist.
Assist, help one of our goals, not their goal. I think Fred will have a part to play in one of our goals.
Everybody on the pod is thinking that I was doing United, but I was 100% saying an own goal.
I know. Mush last versus Villa got the 3-1.
No, Mush, justice for George. You just copied me, eh? Facts.
I didn't copy you.
Get it across.
I didn't copy you. Anyways, yeah, I think we win 3-1. I think it will be a very convincing game, and then just incredible for narrative. Because I think this game, regardless how it goes, is very, very important for narrative, especially for the rest of the season and just in general feeling about the team. So I'd much rather prefer a 2-0 maybe to a 3-1. But I think we'll win 3-1. And then, yeah, as you said, Rashford will get his goal. I was feeling Sancho, but I really don't want it to be Sancho just because I don't need his first home goal to be against us or against me.
No, he doesn't have the facilities made for that. Trust me.
Please don't talk about him like that, please.
So
I'm just gonna.
But Ronaldo won't score. Ronaldo will not score, and then
I think Rashford, if it is someone, it'll be Rashford.
Ronaldo will end up kicking out at Ben White.
yeah,
But this will be I think this will be the game that United get their first goal against us this decade. If I'm being honest, I think this will be the game.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm just going to reiterate this. This is their cup final. This is their cup final. If they lose this game, they are 8 points behind us, and we can start.
Steve, mate, the only thing is Villa, Spurs, the exact same reason that those teams got those score lines about not scoring 3 is exactly why United will get 3. They're going to press out from the back or attempt to step up, and that's going to be their downfall.
And they
so
both scored.
Not only do we score 3, we've done it. We've done it in this season a couple times, and the reason that we've done it is when teams step out like that and they're open in midfield, and that's why we will get 3-1.
Look, the minute this game ends, and I'm not like you people. Like obviously, it's Old Trafford. It's a big game, and I understand. I saw it too. I know.
I've been saying this for months.
I have it. I have the tweet bookmarked. I have
months. I've been saying for months. The hours and the day after that field comp will be incredible. It won't be made by me, by the way, but it's gonna be. I don't want that on my account because it will get reported and stuff. But
yeah. We can't have that, guys. We're good boys, good Christian boys on this channel. But yeah, Willow, mate, you're a 1-0 to the Arsenal, right?
I wouldn't even mind that.
Pardon?
You're 1-0 to the Arsenal, mate.
1-0 to the Arsenal, shithouse goal. I think it'll be a scrappy game. I'm hoping for a little Arteta Carrick fight as well. You know, I want to see a little Arteta.
Carrick doesn't have the balls for it.
Carrick
won't do that.
He gives me beta vibes for sure. You know, like he looks constantly worried. Do you ever?
Did you see what he said today?
Yeah.
He said something recently about Ronaldo and how he thought his reaction was great to him being dropped. And it was perfection.
Yeah. So
guys, Ronaldo coming in is going to be just so good for the culture. There's so many, like you said, Chris. I agree with the fact that there's going to be so many narratives that are going to be absolutely smashed. So, the first narrative that's going to happen is we're going to cement ourselves as best of the rest, at least globally. We already knew that from our fans. But you know, everyone is going to
not our fans, us.
Yeah. I mean, our fans weren't even like that. We got ridiculed. But
Alex, quickly, when we were invincible, United were the second best team in the league.
This is what I was waiting George to finish to say that, but like literally, like when this isn't a good United team, this United team has got slapped by City and Liverpool. And even Chelsea
and Watford.
But the thing is, even Chelsea, right? Even though they sneaked a draw, they were gifted a draw by Jorginho. I wish he was still here.
They just factually, tactically, people are just going based off narrative and not looking at the game factually. You know, they don't have Varane, Pogba, Luke Shaw, Cavani. They're pressing forward. They're not going to be able to press. They're going to want to press. They have no progression in the back. Okay, they just don't even have the players that
Leicester could
press in order to do it. So I think people are looking at narrative a lot more on the United instead of the analysis about what they can offer. You know, and I would have a very different view on the game if their full team was available. I would.
They're worse at home than away, Alex. United have been for 2 years now. 2
years now.
Because they're not aggressors, guys. They're counterattack. That's where they are at their best. And at home, they don't demand that. They demand for their team to step up.
Their whole thing last season was that away record. Legit. Their whole thing was we're amazing away, and that's how they finished second. So,
I also think, mate, like a lot of the narratives that we're going to smash just very factually is not only just the best of the rest, not only the top 4. I'm going to remind everyone the preseason prediction December 4th is going to be factually true. You know, West Ham. Wes. What are you talking about? In preseason, I said December 4th. You don't even lie about that. I've been saying that for
You said it in the
absolutely
season. You
months.
didn't say it. I don't think you said it preseason. I think you said
We'll
it
do
early.
this afterwards. We'll sort this out afterwards. Like
I
for
did.
God's sake,
I
it's
think you
nearly
said it
2
early.
hours.
And the exact date is going to come to fruition. The Thanos gifts are going to be wonderful. But in all actuality, guys, like the
You know
away
what the
record,
worst thing is?
because
The worst thing is we get the gifts. You guys don't get the gifts. We get the gifts, and we agree with him. Like we get the gifts. And it doesn't make any sense. Gift for the timeline.
Ronaldo's
and
Ronaldo
the biggest
absolutely
thing that I think I've seen is, do you guys? So in terms of our away record, a lot of people are saying that we're really poor away. Can we like stop this where we're only poor against the top 3 sides like in the country? Because I think other than that, we've been very good away.
What were we?
Leicester,
2 wins, 2
Turf Moor.
draws, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses this season.
Yeah. So they were against City, Anfield, and who was the other loss away?
Brentford.
Brentford, when we had COVID.
Yeah, I think we had about 10 players out.
Yeah. So no, I don't think that when we face away, we've been very good against teams outside the top 6, except for Brentford, which is a very specific scenario. Granted, it's a very small sample size, so I don't want to make that a sweeping conclusion. But I think that's one of the big narratives that get broken, that we can't go away to a top 6 club and win convincingly.
Right. Anyway, right. I just want to say I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. This is like the first time in like a while that I'm like looking forward to Old Trafford. Like it's just gonna be because last
I wasn't this confident last season, guys. But you
I
know
was
the
not
amount,
confident
the
last
way that
season.
we can. You know what's different for me this season? That's huge. It's not even just the build up, and it's not even just the. It's not even just like the counter press. Really, it's the second ball control. That's what it is for me. So if it turns into a basketball game, we've now got the team to stop it. And that's
let me. This is the other thing. He also sold. He also got rid of him. Like he's gone. Willian, do you see Willian on the
that
pitch?
was very much an Edu signing, and that wasn't what he wanted.
It doesn't even matter. Edu, whatever. Like he's not here anymore. Okay,
guys, we got Willian, and that's when Awar failed. Do we not remember some of the history?
Yeah. So, but
anyway, it was in response to that.
I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to the after show, because even if it doesn't go our way, it's going to be fun. Like it's going to be a very fun show. So do tune in for that. George, do the thing you know.
Guys, we really appreciate a lot of the comments that you guys have been doing. Thank you so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications to know when we post vids. We're going to have a lot of vids coming up, guys. Games are coming thick and fast, so we're going to do previews, reviews for every game. So make sure that you stick with us. In terms of, where you can find us on Twitter at BopFooty or at BOPFooty. You can also find us on TikTok and, of course, on all our platforms. Don't worry, we're going to be here for whatever happens after the game. Very happy with what's been happening with Arsenal recently. But after we win 3-1, it's going to be great for narrative. And this is the only time Christina is going to agree with me because it's the same score as him. But in reality, we're definitely going to do some BOP spaces in the transfer market. So keep tuned for that, and make sure that you guys comment on some topics that you want us to address. I think we should do like a big top 6 show, where we do go into it, and we'll do some more of those outside the top 6. Let us know in the comments if you guys enjoyed that one space where we talked about teams outside the top 6. I know they don't get a lot of airtime, but you guys let us know if that's what the content that you want to see. And of course, we'll do midfield profiles, we'll do target profiles, all that fun stuff. So keep with us, guys, and we're on the road to 1K. So please make sure you share this, get it out to your friends, make sure that everyone's understanding the ball over passion revolution. We're taking over. Trust me, we're going to be very, very smug when we get those win over United. And we can absolutely say that our predictions weren't only out there, but they were very, very good, and they were very spot on. So thank you so much for sticking with us, guys, and we will catch you after Arsenal win 3-1. Peace, boys.
Peace. All right. Before we go, everyone on Twitter is in the and Seeker's trying to troll me, which is kind of cool. But
I wasn't.
Everyone's Twitter
said peace.
Did you actually do that?
I said peace.
I thought we were doing the Twitter, but
Peace. Go. Do the thing.
This is going in the comp.